Are we live and in action?
We are live and in action.
Good. It feels good to be back recording. I feel like I haven't recorded.
It's really been a minute. It feels good. It also feels nice that we're in a good environment. Like, we're not having to worry about a dishwasher or something crazy going on. Yeah, or the sound sounding really crazy. So yeah. Yeah,
it feels good. It feels good. Well, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, welcome. This is. I ain't never seen.
Welcome. I remember.
You're always trying to turn something into a hunching song. Like you just.
No, it's a good.
I've never heard that before in my life.
I'm gonna go back to the episode where you.
Please do, because I don't recall saying that at all. But welcome to the Message 24 podcast. I am one half of this podcast, Lakhia, aka Sincerely Danny on the gram.
Yes, and I am the second half of this great podcast, and my name is James, and everywhere else I'm known as Coach James. So,
Mr. James.
Yeah, Mr. James by family. Daddy James.
To who? Do not start it up. All right, so our In the DM for this week is going to be centered around what we've learned since being in a relationship. We have been together for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep saying almost 2 years because it's like one of those things where we know it's getting close. It's right around the corner.
It'll be 2 years in July.
Yeah.
So, yeah, almost.
We're right there at it.
We're knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Open it. So we'll be there soon. So do you want to jump in or do you want me to start?
Let's go back and forth. So
okay, I have no idea what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So
I kinda
if you have some things wrote out, I just come and just talk off the top of my head.
I feel it. Well, I would say for me, like the first thing has been time management. Time management is very, very important because you're doing stuff and I'm doing things and I want to make sure that we have enough time for each other. Yeah. So I really had to learn that it is very important to be able to manage both of our times, be able to look at both of our schedules. And I think we talked about this
we talked about it on the date night episode. So
yeah.
If you want to hear more about that, you can go back to the episode.
Definitely check that one out.
Yeah.
The next one is like, don't blow it down on the set.
Blowing them oxtail from yesterday. You want to be a musician badly, so badly. I swear you do.
Blow it down on the set.
I'm gonna drink my water.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but the next thing that I learned was 2 is better than 1. So if both of us working together, both of us like partnering up, we can accomplish a lot more than just me trying to do everything or you trying to do everything. So that was something that I really learned. And yes, from I guess a financial standpoint, because I'm big on that.
Yeah.
But also just on a help standpoint, like a work together standpoint. Like if you're good at cooking, and
which we know that I am.
Yes, you are great at cooking.
Thank you.
You being the cooker, I can wash the dishes,
yes.
Or I know you don't like to fold up clothes.
Hate it.
So I can fold the clothes or vice versa. I'm not a big fan of cooking, so it kind of balances out. So you got 2 people and y'all working together, it's a lot easier than
just one.
Trying to do everything yourself, trying to cook, trying to do this, trying to do that. And you just scrambling everywhere. When you have a partner, it makes things easy, especially if one has strengths to your weaknesses. Like that really balances out things. So.
Well, I feel like your stuff is so well thought out.
I'm trying to be better about like coming to this shit and providing some value.
Well, I think you add a lot of value. I wrote the outline. I feel like I definitely have learned a lot since being in a relationship. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that being in a relationship can be uncomfortable sometimes because it forces you to deal with things that you might not otherwise deal with if you weren't with somebody, if that makes sense. Like, when I am in a mood, a lot of times I just don't feel like talking, and it's because I have a hard time expressing myself. But being in a relationship, that's not fair to you for me to just be like, like, leave me alone. Like, sometimes I might just want to just genuinely be left alone. But I have learned that I have to actually sit with, why do I feel this way? And I need to understand why I feel this way so then I can let you know what is going on for me. So it definitely has pushed me to work on my emotional intelligence. I have to use a feelings wheel. I think I told you the feelings wheel.
I don't know if you've mentioned the feelings wheel.
Oh, maybe I haven't, but it's one of those things my therapist told me about. Maybe I can just look up some of the things to share with other people who might feel like they lack emotional intelligence. I don't think, honestly, lacking emotional intelligence sounds so bad, but I think it's just one of those things, once you recognize it, it's just like, okay, I am very highly intelligent when it comes to knowledge, and I just know a bunch of random shit. But when it comes to expressing my emotions and how I feel, that's something I struggle with because I didn't grow up in a house where people were like, well, why do you feel this way? One of those things. So
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think a very important part of that is definitely acknowledging it. Like, if you can't acknowledge it, then it's gonna be tough to actually express how you're feeling.
Yeah. So that's one of the things with me. So basically, you can just Google feelings wheel, and it has different categories. So it has bad, fearful, angry, disgusted, sad, happy, surprised. So if you are feeling angry, it has an attachment to, okay, do you feel let down? Do you feel humiliated? Do you feel bitter? Do you feel mad, aggressive, frustrated, distant, or critical? So if you were saying you're angry, but you're angry because, wow, I really needed somebody to show up for me and they didn't show up that way, you're feeling let down. And maybe you also are feeling let down because that you feel like that person betrayed you a little bit. Like, hey, you said you were going to do this for me, but you didn't actually show up for me the way that I needed you to. Or if you're feeling happy, are you feeling happy because you are proud? Are you feeling happy because you're confident? So it literally just takes that one small emotion and it helps you figure out, okay, why am I actually feeling this way? So sometimes when I feel like I don't have the language for stuff, where I'm just feeling a certain type of way, I have to just look through this, and it kind of helps me sort through why I'm feeling a certain type of way.
That is a great tool that I wish I knew about.
Baby, I thought I told you about the
today.
feelings wheel. I'll share it with you.
No, I have had no clue about this, but this is that wheel is doing the communication for you almost, it's really helping you with your communication skills.
Yeah.
Because if you are just saying, I'm so angry, I'm pissed off,
but we fucked up.
Oh shit. Now I'm about to get pissed off. My dang phone's flying everywhere. But no, if you can't explain why you're angry, or you can't explain your feelings, that is a bad way to be. You're gonna struggle in a relationship to communicate that. So,
and I think I struggled a lot in the beginning of our relationship because I couldn't. And I think it's even more frustrating when you are someone who is very intelligent to not be able to express how you feel. It's just very, very frustrating. I don't know how to explain it, but if anybody else relates to that, you will understand what I mean. You can be the smartest person ever, but when it comes to telling somebody how you feel, you can't do it. And that's something that I struggle with, and that's something that I had to learn in a relationship. I can't do that because it's not fair to you. It's ultimately not fair to myself because it's making me feel worse about myself because I can't tell you how I feel. So I think that's one of the really big things about myself that I learned in being in a relationship.
Can I piggyback off?
Of course, baby.
What you said. Going back to you saying I can be so smart or like so gifted, but if you have all that talent and you have all that, I guess, technical background, I can agree to that, or I can agree with you on that, because like I have the technical background and I can do all the math and science, and you got the writing and all of that stuff, but like when it comes to actually,
I got that science too.
Yeah,
I got that math. That math ain't it got me. Y'all don't got it. I can count money.
It's like you can get so caught up in that and be so good at that, but it's like those simple basic skills, the communication skills, like we lack, or you can lack if you're good at those things. So I definitely like that will. Like I think that's
I think maybe I'll add a link to that into the description of this episode. Matter of fact, let me make a link. Let me make a note.
You about to help a lot of people with
shout out to my therapist, because she gets me. Like, I remember I was telling her something was wrong, and she's like, "Why do you feel this way?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And she pulled it up. She pulled up the will for me, and she also made me understand that, like, I am not the only person in the world who has a hard time expressing themselves. I feel like a lot of us, again, not all, but I'm sure many of us didn't grow up in households where if we were crying or something, let's just really work through this. Why do you feel this way?
And
what's going on?
I can't let you. Luckily, I have parents who.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all of us. I guess
there are a lot of families that have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was younger, if I was crying or something, my mom would be like, like, what's wrong? Like, whatever. But if I was frustrated or had like a attitude when I got home or something, she would take that as me having like an attitude with her. But it's like, it's not really you.
Internally, what's going on?
Yeah, it's really somebody at school has said something to me to hurt my feelings or whatever, and I don't know how to express that to you, and you're taking it as, I'm coming home and I'm, having an attitude with you, and you done worked 12 hours, you done came home and cooked for me, and I'm sitting here with an attitude, and you think I'm upset with you, but I'm not upset with you. I'm upset about
work all day.
Yeah,
that's what the shit I gotta do.
And that's why I say I never fault my mom, because she did the best that she could do. I think I told you, if I had to come home to 3 kids after working 12 hours and they was hollering and crying, I probably would have killed myself. So I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I can't imagine, like, I really cannot imagine having to come home to 3 kids after working 12 hours and you have to cook, clean up, make lunch, and they got an attitude. I probably would have jumped off of a building. So, like, kudos to her. But as an adult, I now understand, like, maybe that's where this stems from. And I know that when I have kids, I really want to, if they have a bad day and they just don't want to talk to me when they come home, you can do that.
I don't know about it.
No, I definitely want to give my kids that freedom. Like, if you come home and you've had a bad day and you say, Mom, I don't want to talk to you right now, I will talk to you later, do that.
I think I'm gonna ask at least. I want to know why. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that to just be free will. Like,
I think you should
come home and just do whatever. I don't agree with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong. If a kid comes home and they're like, I just have had a bad day, I don't want to talk right now. Okay, well, you come talk to me later this afternoon when you feel like you want to share with me what's going on. Me badgering you doesn't necessarily help the situation at all.
Well, I at least need to hear I've had a rough day, something's going on. Like,
I mean, that's fine, and if that's what they choose to share, then that's cool. But
so you saying, like, they just come in, storm in, I don't want to talk, and that's it? Like,
okay, if you come in, I don't want to talk, I'm going to say, are you okay? Yes. Okay, if you're okay.
Was there something that happened today? Like, I need to at least get something.
I mean,
I need some information.
I don't want to pull anything out of anybody until
they ain't got to tell
talk.
me though. I agree with you to a certain extent. Like, they don't got to tell me everything, but I do need to at least know that something happened. Like, I mean,
that's the point in asking, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Because if you say no, then I'm going to need more information. If you are okay and you just need a second, cool, take all the time you need. But if you tell me no, you're not okay, I kind of need to know a little bit about what's going on now so I can help fix the situation. But if you technically are okay, you just kind of had a shitty day and you just need a second, cool. Take the time you need. Come talk to me. Maybe after you done took a shower, took a nap, got a snack, something like, come talk to me. But
what's your limit? Let's say I do this for 4 days, 5 days.
Well, it's not going that long. I just feel like if you don't want to talk about it that day, like I would want to talk about it like the next day. And maybe if you don't feel comfortable. I think so, but because kids be killing themselves and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to let stuff
go. That's why I need to know.
Go something too far, but also you don't want to push the child too far and they don't want to tell you nothing. So I think max, I would give it a day, like, you know, the next day, like, hey, like, have you had a time to kind of, you know, process what you're feeling? Like, if you don't feel comfortable talking to me, I can arrange for you to meet with like a therapist or something so that you can talk to. Like, I don't want therapy to be taboo in our home. Like, I will be very open with our kids that I see a therapist, and if that's something that they feel like they want or need to do, then that is completely an option for them. Like, if you don't feel comfortable sharing with me, which I hope our kids would feel comfortable, like, I want to create that type of atmosphere and environment. But if they don't feel that way, then okay, cool, you don't have to talk to me right now. Let's set you up with this person so that you can talk to, because you need to talk to somebody. But I don't think like badgering your kids is like the answer, but also not trying to figure out what's going on is also not the answer. So it has to be like a happy medium in between. But I'm not going to take it as immediately as it's something I did. Oh, no. If a kid comes home and they haven't, and kids be having stuff going, kids are fucking mean.
Yeah. So I was laughing at this instance. I was coming home and I saw this parent and her daughter. They were walking home or walking to their place, and I laughed because I'm like, that parent probably has no clue what that kid has gotten into for like the past 6 hours. Like it every day varies.
No idea.
It really varies. Like you could have a really bad day or you could have a really good day. Yeah. Or you could have done something really crazy, and nobody would ever know.
You have no idea. So that's why I'm saying, like, some days I come home, I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm like this. As soon as I walk to the door, I do not be wanting to talk. I just need a second to, like, just gather myself. Even if I had a good day, I just be like, I just need a second. So if my kid come home and be like, I just need a second, cool.
It's in the genes.
Love you.
It's in
do
the
that.
genes.
I mean, it probably is. I just be needing a second. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like my body trying to transition from being outside and having to deal with a bunch of people to now knowing I'm home and I'm in a safe space. Dang, you know what? I think that's what it is. I think, wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy. That's really crazy. Because I don't know if I've shared this on this podcast, but I definitely will share more about it on some bonus content that we have coming up. But I think that's what it is. Like, one thing I'm really working on is trying to be like my authentic self no matter where I'm at. And that can be really, really hard when you are in predominantly white spaces. It's so easy to code switch. You don't even realize you're doing it because it's so embedded in you to like to do it.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes when I come home, it's like I'm shedding that and just getting back into like me. So I think sometimes I need a second to like
switch over.
I'm really starting to think that's what it is, because I've always been like that. Like, except I think when I was like in high school, I went to an all-black high school, so that was nothing. But I just really, when I come in, I just need a second to like just and I'm starting to think that's what it is. Like, I need a second to just be me. And that's why I'm really, really working hard to try to be my authentic self no matter where I'm at. Like, I don't need to dilute who I am to make anybody else feel comfortable.
And the thing about that is I would agree with you, but and you're in a different instance because you're in college and still working through some things, but still in your field.
I'm in the least diverse profession in the country. Right.
So on my end, I'm kinda in a similar situation. Very few African Americans in the field that I'm in. Yeah. So I think for me, it's more of a professional code switch. So like sometimes you can't speak your views on like let's say you have a certain view about like how women should be treated and like just things. Well, in a professional realm, like that is a subject that just you cannot talk about. So if someone kind of hints at something or does something that ticks you or gets that reaction, it's like you really can't. It's in that environment you really can't. You have to switch. It's like one of those things where you can't just be like, hey, I think this person should be the president. This is why. Like in the professional realm, it is already created for you not to do that. So it's already a switch when you come from just being you to the professional environment. Now, then there's the race as well. There, like our race, like some stuff we can't just go in here and say, "What's up, nigga?" Like you can't. It's just some stuff you can't. That's even another. So it's like you got the professional block, and then you got it's a lot of blocks.
I mean,
that you have to.
As far as the race block goes, when I say code switching, for me, of course. Well, I be saying nigga around some of my white friends, and it is what it is. You can't say it. I can say it. Yeah, I say it often, and it's like at first I wasn't saying it, but I can say it. You just can't say it. So what I'm gonna say
at work?
No, of course I'm not gonna say it at work because that's just like.
Okay, so you would agree that that's a.
Yeah, like okay. I'm not gonna do that at work, but around my like people that I'm cool, and I don't. I don't have a lot of white friends per se. There are a lot of like white people that I know. But if I felt like, sometimes I'll be saying it like, and I have to, I do catch myself sometimes like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it that much, but if you were my friend and I feel comfortable with you, I'ma say it. Right. You better not say it. And if somebody that you know is white and they do say it, I expect you as my friend to be an ally and to check them. Like, hey, you don't need to be saying this. You're going to say this. You can't be around me and saying that. That's what I expect for them to do. But I think more so for me, when I say code switching, I notice that my voice is even lighter when I talk to white people. I don't sound anything like me. I speak a lot quieter when I'm around white people. Because I don't, and it's not even something I'm doing consciously. It's just like, it just happens, like, because it's just something ingrained in us as black people for how we can survive and navigate through society is by assimilating to white culture and the things that they deem as the standard. So that's just something I've been trying to, I catch myself, like if I'm talking a little bit different, I'm like, no, that's not how I sound. That's not how I talk. That's not me. And as far as like politics go, I don't think.
I just said that as an example.
No, I get it. But I know for me, like when it comes the time for me to, really enter the field, like when I'm a doctor, honestly, it's important for me to know somebody's political views, especially with the climate that we have going on right now. It's a lot bigger than just like being a Democrat and being a Republican, like, and we kind of got off topic about what we learned in relationships.
Oh, I got another one.
But that kind of moves into like the whole Roe versus Wade documents like being leaked right now. Like it's about women's rights. Like it's about human rights right now. So it's so much bigger than that. So for me, it is kind of important to know where a company stands on stuff like that, because if you are a company who is pro overturning Roe versus Wade, I will not fucking work there. I will not fucking be there. If you are a company who is anti Black Lives Matter, will not be working there. If you are a company who is anti LGBTQIA+, will not be working there. Right. That shit, like stuff like that, to me is important. That's what I stand for. Those are my morals. Those are my values. Because if you don't stand for something, like, you know what I'm saying, like, what do you? Right. There has to be something that you're like, okay, this is the line for me. Yeah. Like if I was ever at a job or somebody said something about Black people, somebody said something about people in the LGBTQIA+ community, any other minority, women, I'm gonna say something. Right. It might not be the first thought that comes to my head, which is probably gonna be to cuss them out, but it might be, let me go talk to the manager. Like, let me just let you know what's going on here. Good. So, like, I agree, but I think with the way that the world is now, in order for me to feel safe, in order for me to feel comfortable, I kind of need to know these things. Like,
Gotcha.
that's just kind of my thought on it. I don't even know how we got there, but
Yeah, that was deep.
it was super deep. I don't even know how I got there. I really don't. Okay.
Well, I do have another thing that I've learned. I think I really don't know how we got there.
I really don't either.
But I guess in my notes I have learn when to do something and when to not do something. So I think timing has to do with that, but also just learning how to gauge your partner. And this piggybacks off of when you get home from work and you need a second to decompress. Even though I am a busy body and am always energetic.
Yes. Like a pussy. I mean that respectfully. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but like puppies are like,
just ready to see.
Yes.
So yeah, you have to observe your partner, learn how they, or not learn, but see how they are in certain situations. So if I can tell you're tired, I don't need to be trying to annoy the shit out of you, or even though I still will.
You definitely still do, but okay.
But just observing those things,
yeah,
and making sure that timing is a thing too, because let's say we're both exhausted. We don't need to be shooting a podcast if we're both just completely exhausted. I think it was one night specifically where we were working on some stuff, and I was having issues with the audio and the tech.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so you had just got out of the shower. I was fucking frustrated because I'm like, what the hell is going on with the audio? This shit should be right.
Yeah.
And so you came and you was like, baby, I don't think this is the greatest idea. I think we should just, call it a night.
Yes.
And push it to the next. So I think to the next day. So yeah, I definitely think learning how your partner is in certain times and timing things to where you're being what they need in that moment.
Yes. So. That's something I was going to say as well. Being what your partner needs is important in the capacity that you were able to do so. I think we might have talked about this on an episode earlier, but knowing your partner's love language and knowing that sometimes what your partner needs from you might change as they enter different stages of their lives. Like what they needed from you when you first got together might look very different than what they need 5 years into a relationship. So just being able to pivot and to understand that and to, show up for them. It might look different in a way you want them to show it for you, but still in the same capacity, like the equivalent for what they're doing for you. You need to, at minimum, be able to do that for them. There might be times where you kind of have your own shit going on and you can't, but I think that you should express that to your partner so they don't feel like you're just neglecting them for no reason. But if you have some your own stuff going on and you can't even show it for you, then how can you show up for somebody else? Let them know that what they need is still important, even if you aren't able to give that to them at that time.
All right.
So.
And I have something, I guess, kind of to add. We've talked about what we've learned in the relationship, but there are things that you could be currently learning in a relationship. So I am still learning your love language, and I guess what I mean by that is the way that we receive love is a little differently, and the way I want to show love, I still have to understand that may not be the way that you receive love. And so that has been one thing that I am currently learning. That you can be a bit stubborn because it's like, this is how I really receive love, so you should be able to receive love that way. But that is not how relationships work. And if you're not able to make that transition, I think you're gonna have some issues. And I've seen it with other relationships. Like one person may say, hey, this is what I need from you. This is how I receive love. Let's say it's from gifts. Well, if that person isn't, doing anything to give you gifts, but they are always hugging you or touching you, that kind of sounds weird.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, if they're doing those things but not doing the thing that you need from them, that person is probably not going to be with that person long term if they can't make that transition. So I think that's big. You should have learned some things in the relationship, and you should be currently learning some things too. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm still learning you too. I don't think I ever want to stop learning you, because I know that you will continue to grow as a person, and I will be continuously growing as a person, so we will still have things to learn about each other. Right. I know for you, one of your biggest love languages is quality time and physical touch, and I don't mean like sexual physical touch, but you love to like hug me and kiss me, and you always want me like close to you. And prior to being in a relationship, that is some shit that I hated. I did not want people all up on me. I did not want people all in my personal space. But the more comfortable I got with you, and I learned that this is something that you need from me, it has low-key turned into one of my love languages now. Like, I need that from you as well, because I just have grown accustomed to us, like, being cheek to cheek. Oh, yeah, like you didn't want to put your cheek on my cheek.
I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that, Steph. Give me a kiss, though. Give me another kiss. Okay, one more.
You're crazy. This is what I mean. You're crazy. But that has become one of my love languages, and I know that you need that from me, and I know that quality time is important to both of us, though. But I'm still learning you and still figuring out the best way to show you love and the way that you receive love as well. I don't think you're very vocal about what you need a lot, so it's a lot of like observations for me to like, does he like this? Does he like that? Like, cause you don't tell me. Like, so.
Well, I'm also, and this is crazy because I know some of the things that I love, but there's always gonna be this sense of, just like you said, you figured out that you also have that love language. Yeah. So I'm still learning myself. So there's gonna be something. I'm pretty cut and dry. I'm not the most like extravagant guy, so to speak. So I'm still learning myself.
Yeah.
So as we have different experiences, we try different things. Like I'll be like, oh shit, I really love this. Like I think one of my current love languages has been, and it's kind of yours too. You kind of introduced me to this.
I do.
Yes, like games. So our love language. Is it okay for me to share this on? Because some people, this is exclusive, so I don't know if we need to.
What's exclusive? What we do?
The fun.
Oh God, yes, you can tell. I'm about to tell this shit. I don't know what you about to say.
So, yeah, we get busy on Fun Run.
Oh, we get active
3.
on Fun Run.
Yes, Fun Run 3.
And he be out there buying coins so that he can become. You trying to be a zebra? There, a fox. And what you trying to be, a frog? You trying to be a frog?
I'm trying to be a phoenix. Fire. That shit like $1 million coins, but $30 in real life.
No, exactly. And I don't doubt that you up there secretly buying coins. I'm about to pop out with the phoenix. I'm not gonna hold you.
Well, if you do, I will know that you.
I've been racking up. I be playing at home.
Yeah, we joke around and say that we're gonna. While we're in our free time, gonna be playing against other people to build up our coins. So we
I do be
play
doing
against
it.
each other.
Like when I was getting my hair done, I was getting busy.
Just when I get that frog,
I have the famous before you have the frog.
That fucking frog is fire.
I had the famous before you have the frog.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I think that was good for in the DM. We have a new segment.
Yes.
We have a new segment that we are trying out. We are going to let Help Center sit where it is at for a while. You can still feel free to send us things on message24pod@gmail.com, but we are moving into some different segments. So this new segment is basically going to be called Sound On, and this is where we share a song that we've been listening to all week, a song that kind of describes our mood or not describes our mood, just a song that maybe has been stuck in our head. It could be a new song, it could be an old song, it could be whatever. So for those that are watching on YouTube, unfortunately, you will not be able to hear the song. If you want to hear the song, you will need to head over to iHeart, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts to listen to our audio, because we is not about to get sued. So
we not losing no money.
No. So I can go first, I guess, since I already got my song pulled up.
Yeah, I need to pull mine up.
You can type it in. It only take a second. But this is a song I have been listening to all week. It's not necessarily my mood because I love my man, but this song has been stuck in my head. I cannot get it out of my head. It is F and F, Let's Go by Glorilla. And for the girls who know, you know. So I'ma just let it breathe for a second so y'all can hear it.
Alright, so
that's my song for the week. I cannot stop listening to it. It has a hold and a good grip on me.
They got a good gripping.
Yes.
Where is going to YouTube?
It's not on Apple. It's not on iTunes.
I think this is off a mixtape.
Oh, okay.
So we about to see. Okay, so this is my song, and this is a little savage because yours was a bit toxic.
Oh,
so I
don't think it's toxic.
Toxicity.
She said she fuck nigga free. That ain't toxic.
Yeah,
she got him up off her.
Oh yeah,
This is toxic though.
This is Tic Tac by Future and Lil Uzi. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Baby Pluto. That was a mixtape. I don't know when it came out, but it's been some years ago. But this is when Uzi was like a rock star. He was on his shit.
Wait, no, that mixtape didn't come out that long ago.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Baby Pluto?
Yeah, that song didn't come out that long ago. Yeah, that mixtape didn't come out that long ago. Yeah, no, yeah, Big Pluto came out.
Yes, that was 2 years ago.
Wow, time is moving.
That is time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't know it came out 2020. Wow.
Uzi went stupid. And Future went stupid on this song. So that was my.
Nah,
Future kind of came in crazy. I don't know if you listened to his
I have, but Uzi still got it.
Yeah, Uzi
came in a little bit harder.
He definitely went stupid on this. But yeah, that was my week. Started off with pretty much me starting a new job. So I had to be in hype mode.
Yeah.
And that song really turned me up this week. So
now they got you where you need to go.
It got me.
All right, so that's our Sound On segment. This was our first day debuting that, so hopefully by the next episode we will have it together.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be scrambling.
to get it done. This was our first time doing it, but you get the gist. You see how it's going to go. We'll each play a song or two that we've been listening to all week, so that's that for that.
I love you. Please. This is our song together, right?
No.
You didn't?
I don't.
You didn't memorize your part?
You didn't teach me the part. We never had a part to the song. All right, so time is moving, so we can do maybe 1 or 2 standard deletes for the week. But yeah, we can do 1 or 2. So
just do 1 and keep it simple.
Okay. I don't know which one I want to do though. So okay, well, 2 of these.
I like the first one.
2, yeah, but the second one goes into that one. So there was a tweet I saw on Twitter. first of all, it was a TikTok, and it was this woman and her husband, and the caption was something like, "Don't let anybody tell you that relationships can't work after cheating." And somebody quoted it, was like, "I wish y'all would stop telling all of your business on Twitter," because they were thinking that her husband cheated on her, but she cheated on her husband, and he stayed with her. So people were like, guys, I guess, were like, "Well, I would never do that. This, that, and the third." And this girl tweeted, and she was like, "Well, a lot more men stay after their women cheat than they let y'all on to believe. They just don't tell nobody. They don't tell their friends. They don't tell their family. They don't tell nobody." So that was that part. And then I saw another post today that said, "Men aren't strong enough to handle the truth. Just lie to us. I don't care what he says to convince you to tell him the truth. Just lie." So those two things kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So, do you think a lot more men stay after their partner cheats than they let on?
It's funny that you mentioned that men never talk about that. To all of the fellas that I'm cool with, and to any male that I have ever met, I have never in my life heard anyone mention that their girl cheated on them.
They're not gonna tell you,
and that they're still with them. That has never been a conversation. It's not a barbershop conversation. It's not a just I'm with my boys conversation.
It's not gonna be.
That ain't never gonna be no conversation.
That doesn't mean it never has happened though.
Oh, it don't mean it hasn't happened, but niggas is not talking about that ever, and it probably I don't think that'll ever.
That's why she said
that's never
that.
been a conversation.
That's why she was like,
Never.
it happens a lot more than y'all know because men just don't talk about it. And I think it's funny because it's embarrassing either way it go. If a man cheating on a woman, embarrassing, a woman cheating on a man, embarrassing. Either way you paint it, it don't look good.
But women don't talk about it.
But that's the thing. Women will talk about it and then still go back with the person. Yeah. Granted, you probably shouldn't because it's equally as embarrassing for you to get on the internet and talk about how shitty of a person your partner is, and then 2 months later you back with them. Yeah. Either way, it's kind of embarrassing. But I think it was funny that people were saying like a lot of women actually do cheat on men and the men stay with them, because I have always thought that men cannot handle what they do to women. That's why this post about just lie was interesting to me, because sometimes men can do like the most outrageous stuff to women and they will take them back. Don't let a woman just go get a drink with a man. He ready to like
kill,
cry. He leaving voice messages. He tracking the car. He just acting just snotting and crying on himself. Like it's just a lot. Why do you think that is? Why do you think if a woman even does something close to what a man does, he cannot handle it?
Simple answer is ego.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a certain ego that we have to uphold. Mm-hmm. And if we have something that happens to us that disrespects our ego versus us disrespecting someone else's ego,
yeah,
it's just like, I don't know, it's like night and day. It's literally like night and day. Like, you want to, it's cool to be savage until savage turns the wrong way. So, yeah, I think, yeah, it's hard to handle. It's hard. It would be really hard to handle. And we males are these tough individuals. Mm-hmm. But when some shit go down and it goes the wrong way, it's like, damn.
You sick.
Yes, because it's like you already tough, and then like somebody got past your toughness, mm-hmm. like, or got at you. Like, how did they get at me? How did they get at me?
They got their get back. So that's what I always say. Get your get back.
It's definitely ego for sure.
I mean, that makes sense, because just like the song where he was like, that nigga was in the bathtub fully clothed crying, "If you creeping on the low, please don't tell me because my heart can't take it anymore." Like, if I don't want to say this because I don't want to put me and you in this situation, but do you think most men would want to know if their significant other was doing some crazy shit. Because some niggas saying, just lie. Just lie, don't tell me, because I can't handle it.
No, I would want to know, but I'm in a more mature mentality, like, and headspace. If I was doing some fucked up shit, I would not want you to tell me you was doing some fucked up shit. Because that shit would have me tight. Not even gonna hold you, but like now, like if you was doing some fucked up shit, just let me know, cause I
wouldn't do that. But I know that's why I said I didn't want to use us as an example.
Right,
but
right. I'm just saying,
I wanted to talk about it.
It's a mentality state. So if you're a mature male, first of all, you're not treating somebody like shit.
No.
Anyways, but it just depends on what mental state you're in.
I just think it's just so funny, like when men do horrible stuff to women. And they even do a fraction, or just a sliver of what it is. You cheat every whole bitch whore in the book, but you was none of that when you was out. This nose ring did not like me anyway. But you wasn't none of that when you was out. All right, there it go. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, y'all. I'm not telling y'all this because I don't want nobody to know my secret, so it's cool. I don't know my secret. I might share it on our Patreon. I might, but I'm not sharing it up here right now. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting conversation that I have always found crazy because men really cannot handle it. Like, they cannot handle it. I've seen so many girls on TikTok who will be sharing, like, that their baby daddy was cheating on them, whatever. When they got their lick back, them niggas was snotting, crying, like, in the car crying, please.
That hurts your soul. It hurts your chest.
But you done did that times 12. Now you sick.
It's like, you got a loyal one. You like, I got a loyal one. I can do what the fuck I want to do.
And they got your ass.
You like, dang, now she not. She got me back. Yeah,
she got that lick back. So that's my thing. If you're significant, this is not healthy advice. So please don't actually listen to it. But if you with a significant other and they cheat on you and you take them back, get your lick back. That's all I'm gonna say. Get your lick back. Either way it go. Get that lick back. You got to, off the strength.
That's toxic people.
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. Don't actually listen to it. But that's all I'm saying. Not just a long episode. We can wrap it up. We can go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for listening to us. Thank you for all the reviews we've gotten so far. If you have not, feel free to drop by and leave us a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify. We're on all the streaming platforms, so wherever you listen to your podcast, you can also listen to Message 24.
Yep.
Also feel free to follow us on Instagram at Message 24 Pod, where we drop snippets, behind the scenes, different things. Is that it? Oh, if you are interested in supporting us and also supporting yourself in the process, and you own a business and you want to sponsor an episode, feel free to message us at email us at message24pod@gmail.com, and we can go over some different options and things like that. That's it for me. What else do you have, baby?
I think we got the Patreon.
Oh yeah, we have a Patreon coming soon. It is not yet available, but it will be available soon. We will feature lots of bonus content and some segments that you only can get if you are a Patreon subscriber. We'll have different tiers available, and you also can get some free merch depending on what tier you are subscribed to.
Yep, best believe we taking our time to put some quality apparel together.
Yes, so
some quality stuff for y'all. So our true supporters, our true people that's really tapping in with us.
Yes,
y'all getting in early.
We've heard, the feedback that we've gotten.
Yeah,
there's a want for bonus content. There's a want for merch. So we are trying to find a way to incorporate both of those things. Like I said, it's on the way. It's in the works. So it will be dropping. It'll be dropping. I am not going to say a date, but just know it's in the works.
It's coming soon.
It's coming, yes.
We definitely want to thank our listeners.
Of course.
Wherever they're coming from.
Denver still got it.
Yeah, Denver, Seattle, all those places. We really appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for y'all, we really wouldn't have any listeners. So we're excited. We're excited for where this podcast is going.
Yep. It's been growing very steadily and organically. So
Yeah.
I know we both appreciate that, and it's only up from here. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Taking it one step at a time, patience. And
That's all we can do,
Yeah.
ultimately. All right. Well, happy Wednesday. It's almost Friday.
I've been on my
Friday.
chill shit, but happy Hunch Wednesday, happy Hunch Wednesday, happy Hunch Wednesday, happy Hunch Wednesday. You know you want to.
Hit pause on this thing before I hit it and accidentally delete the whole episode.
No. You're not gonna delete
Who?
the episode.
All right.
You're not.
All
gonna
right.
Delete the episode. You're not.
What? Because I'm finna hit a button.
Bye, y'all. We love you.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.